Next is from Hank Beanie, and the subject is Larry Dallas. Okay, by the way, I got to pull up a tweet here because Larry had a tweet that I responded to, and I want to bring the topic of conversation here. Let me read this email first. Hey guys, It's been revealed that Larry Dallas's real name is Lawrence Musso.
Mm-hmm.
Disco, you are a man with proud Italian heritage. What's your opinion of Larry using a gimmick name to hide his Italian roots? This is from Handsome Hank. Let's suspend Handsome Hank. We got to do a quick thing of emailers putting themselves over will get suspended. Okay, you got to know your role. You got to know your role. I have no issue with Larry Dallas calling himself whatever. It's professional wrestling, but it is funny his name is Larry Musso. Why does he just call himself Larry Musso? That's actually not a bad Italian name.
Same thing.
Why do you change to Larry Dallas? Larry Musso sounds like. I mean, he looks more like a Larry Musso than a Larry Dallas. You know?
Right.
Maybe he thinks like Larry Dallas is like J.R. Ewing type character, and he's like, I don't know. Let me find this tweet that Larry posted that I replied to.
Remember, he's a wrestling personality, not a commentator.
Right. Oh, that's right.
And a party host.
Yeah. Let me see. What where is this here? Oh, it must be from a couple days ago. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Okay, so Larry posted a tweet. So Pro Wrestling Torch tweeted that details emerge on the CM Punk and Jack Perry backstage altercation with multiple versions. So then Larry quote tweeted this and said, he put Pink, he mistyped instead of Punk. Pink literally is a dude who got money, power, and trained enough in fighting to f dudes up. But not like win fights with real tough dudes. He's like a bouncer at a college bar. I respect it so much. All right? So I replied to that tweet with, I mean, if your wins are over Jack Perry and the Jackson brothers, are you sure that garners that much respect? It's a legitimate question, to be honest with you. Is that a legit question, Conan? If like you were bragging about winning a fight over Jack Perry and Matt and Nick Jackson, would you walk around boasting about that?
He stepped away for a second.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Hang on a minute. I gotta call my mom real
quick. Hello?
Yeah, now D.I. stepped away for a minute. He's back.
Yeah, I could hear you, Disco, but I had my computer muted. The Jacksons and Perry.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's what he asked you, yeah.
Was he not answering?
He grabbed the phone call real quick.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I'm back.
He's back.
Okay, so would you brag about Jackson?
I would brag about it. About it. Yeah. And you could throw in Sheeta, what's her name, Riho or whatever, and I'd brag about that too.
People in the mailbag were saying in the YouTube comments that you were they thought it was funny that you mistook you got Riho and Sheeta mixed up. And honestly, I have them mixed up too. I couldn't. You put them next to each other. It's about a 70% chance I would get the two of them correct. Right.
Right.
Next is from Cesar.
Here's and kind of an indictment on them. These girls have been there, I think, years, right?
Right.
Yep. I don't know who the they are. I'm not sure which is which.
Right. Yeah. I'm not either. Yeah.
Well,
so Sheeta's a really tiny one, I think, right?
No.
Sheeta. No, that's Riho. Riho's a really tiny
one. Riho's a really, really small one that looks like a little girl. Yeah.
Right. Rio's listed at 5'1", Sheeta's listed at 5'4.5".
That's pretty fun. She's not 5'1". There's no way that girl's 5'1". Next is from Cesar Canete.
I saw her backstage. She's pretty tiny.
Yeah. The subject is question for both Disco and Conan regarding Cody Rhodes. Hi, Disco and Conan. I just want to ask y'all if you think Cody Rhodes should go back to AEW after his contract expires in 2025. I think he should, because the man is getting buried in WWE, and I think it's because Vince has a grudge against him for helping create AEW. He had a great return to the company early last year, the greatest coming from injury early this year. He won the Royal Rumble and got buried by Roman at this year's WrestleMania. People were saying after the match that he'd win the title at SummerSlam, but that never happened. I don't see him winning any of the world titles next year either because of the ascension of Eli Drake and Dominic Mysterio, and I see them being world champions next year instead of Cody. Braun Breaker and Austin Theory are other wrestlers I see becoming champions around that time. So Cody Rhodes is pretty much the odd man out of the world title picture. I think going back to AEW in 2025 would be the best thing for him to do because he's lost in the shuffle right now and will be from the time his contract is up. What are your thoughts? Cesar, my honest thought. Cesar, you're an idiot. Okay.
Okay, right. So I was going to say the same thing, bro. You need to inform yourself before you speak about the business. Number one, the guy's making millions of dollars, was in WrestleMania, has his own bus, has who knows how many perks, is a top guy. So he loses to the top guy in WrestleMania and he's getting buried?
He just beat
you
the
don't
number
know
two
nothing
guy.
about the business, my friend.
Brock Lesnar is the de facto number 2 guy in that company. Will we agree on that?
Right.
He just beat the number 2 guy in the company.
Right.
So it's like,
The guy who stopped Undertaker's streak. Yeah.
These wrestling fans, some of them are just like, I mean, maybe these guys like this just started watching wrestling, and those are questions.
Yeah, maybe. Right.
You never
know. We won't berate you too much, but if you've been watching wrestling for a while, you deserve the berating. If not,
yeah,
we'll recuse ourselves.
All right, this guy's suspended.
Already? You haven't even read the letter.
Because I'm going to read you the name.
All right.
The Nabisco Chinferno. All right, which is a shot at me. So we're suspending the guy for taking a shot at me with his email tag. It's from subject is Kenny Omega and all his friends. Hey guys, love the show. I'm excited to hear the pay-per-view review for All Out. Well, you're gonna have Joe and Conan are good. I'm not watching that show. It was 5 hours long. I don't have the time. My question for the three of you is a simple one. If Kenny Omega really just playing out there with his friends like Cornette has been saying for years, his matches seem to have a semblance of storyline. For the past year, he's been stuck in tag teams and trios, and AEW is just wasting a main event talent. Their match got little to no reaction from a packed London crowd. No one cared when Takeshita won, which should have been a big moment for him. JR in commentary was so sickened by the lack of rules in the slop shop that was this match. He couldn't help all over it. Is that true, Joe? Did you watch this? I heard that JR was burying the refs a lot.
I watched like
everybody, bro. He had some really good lines. Yeah,
he did.
I watched like the first half, and to be honest, and to agree with this guy's email, obviously Kenny and everyone in that match.
The email's not done. The email's not done. I just want to know that specifically.
Yeah.
And Kota Ibushi, this is a guy that wrestling fans are claiming is so great. I see a fat, pudgy guy who does nothing exceptional. What say you guys? P.S. It was obvious after Jack Perry said this is real glass in his match to the camera that CM Punk was not going to be happy after the previous reports. Obviously, I know in the 90s it would have been handled like men with their fists, but nowadays, how would you guys navigate everyone being so in their feelings? Nabisco Fever reigns supreme. Nabisco Fever Billings, Montana. Nabisco Fever suspended 1 week.
Yeah.
It's funny, too, because one of my bosses at work calls me Nabisco.
Why is that?
Because it's like disco Nabisco, just rhymes, Nabisco. Like, how many things end with ISCO that you can actually say out loud? Not a lot. Pull your mic down, too, by the way, Cody. Well, first of all, stuff like this was happening very similar. Except the guy that was cutting the promos in front of the camera for everybody was Scott Steiner. And nobody would say anything to him until finally one guy had enough of it because he was burying the guy's wife on in front of the world, and Diamond Dallas Page stepped up to him and almost got his eyes gouged out. But like it's different. Like Jack Perry like if that was Scott Steiner doing that, I doubt that CM Punk and him would have had a confrontation after the match. Would you agree with that, Conan?
Or Rick Steiner,
right? It's like the fact this was Jack Perry doing it, but for Jack Perry. Well, that's kind of a bookie move by Jack Perry too. It's not very
Rick Rude.
Right.
No, exactly. It was. But like I said, he's probably thinking this is my boss. You know what I'm saying? Tony pays me, not him. Because that would have been our attitude. If some wrestler said, "Don't do that," I would have been like, "Does Eric know this? Kevin Sullivan?
Yeah.
I mean, who's running this?"
Yeah. Who?
Right.
According to who the are you? So,
right. So that's probably what he's thinking. Yeah.
It's like, well, Chris Daniels isn't here because I sent him home. I'm talent relationship.
Yeah, and who knows?
Like, really?
And who knows? It wouldn't be shocking to me that maybe he's friends with the Young Bucks and Hangman and that crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
guys.
They should take Punk. Give him. This is what they should do with Punk from now on. hire Craig O'Malley. Okay, have Shadow Punk come to the show. You put them in their own room, leave them in the room until it's time to come to the ring and do the thing, and go back in the room, and then leave the show with it. And he's just Craig O'Malley the whole time. Would you think that would you do that, Cody? Do you think that would work?
Yeah, O'Malley and Fair Play.
Johnny Fairplay, right?
Didn't he work for him? Didn't he work for him?
Yeah, Fairplay.
Well, he worked for Roddy Piper. He worked for Piper, right?
Piper, yeah, where he was Piper's handler.
After O'Malley.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so George Kittle from the San Francisco 49ers.
Not the 49ers. Yeah. I don't think that's him.
The subject is missed opportunity. Hi, guys. Love the reviews. I love what you guys do. I try to catch all that I can in my limited free time. I really enjoyed All Out and thought they made my boy Penta look as strong as he could possibly be in a match with that much chaos. So that I was happy about. My question is, do you think it was a wasted opportunity with how they just randomly threw a Santana Ortiz and a Rey Fenix injury angle without any build-up? And speaking of disappointments, how disappointing was the conclusion of the MJF Cole matchup? Should they have capitalized on their biggest pay-per-view while the angle was hot? Thanks, and that's from George. First of all, we talked about this last week with Santana Ortiz when we did the show review. Okay, yes, it was rushed and meant you couldn't have made it mean less. Honestly, you know. But bro, let's be honest. They announced the Wembley show, okay, and you know immediately there was a polarizing response. It was like, oh, this is going to why are they doing this? But a lot of us were thinking like, hey, this could be a really big show. I think Tony was scared that they wouldn't sell a bunch of tickets. Okay, so they didn't really treat the show until a bunch of tickets started gotten sold, and they realized, wow, this is going to be a really big show. And the next thing you know, it's like 3 weeks away, and it's like we need to put this on pay-per-view, and we need to like build some angles. So it's like because it's literally right around the corner because you know they announced this thing. And the buzz kind of grew, but the booking towards the show didn't really merit like building towards a big show. And they just rushed a lot of stuff at the end to try to make it mean more. And that's I think what we got out of the show. It's just it was bigger than they thought it would be. They had to rush the booking, and it kind of came across as like the booking of this was rushed, and it was kind of like, you know, bro, like it looks like this was bigger than they imagined. And you had stories of like cars weren't there to pick up the talent like CM Punk. It's just you know, there's a lot of negative press coming out of them running their first ever really huge big show, and the story coming out of it is kind of like it was kind of too big for them. They kind of had missed opportunities at this first show that they should obviously capitalize on next year. You learned your lessons, you know. But like, bro, if you're gonna have a show with 80,000 people. The build needs to start like 3 months out. Like this is like a SummerSlam. You know, like the SummerSlam build, the WrestleMania build starts months out. You know, and like that they should definitely do that going forward. Would you agree with that, Conan?
It was muted. You know, at the end of the day, they'd already sold 80,000 tickets or whatever it was, and Phoenix got hurt, so they had to put somebody in his place. And you know, but they did a really bad job with Santana and Ortiz, I thought. And you know, they'd already sold tickets, so it didn't matter who they put at the end. Their go home show, at least they did a good job of, you know, pointing fingers towards All In, but they should have been doing that from a long time ago. But they're still learning, bro. You know, they're still in the learning process, and there's a lot of things that they have to tighten up, you know.